Hello everyone, this is Bristol Skate King. I'm just posting this video to give a quick lesson about feinting. Feinting is a key part of offense, and it is the main part of countering defense with offense. I've been hearing a lot of people complain that you have to feint too much to get damage, especially against Forsaken and at high level play. But that's what should happen. At high level play, your opponent is going to have better defense. If your opponent has better defense, then you need to force their hand. And by that I mean you have to read that they have good defense. Figure out what kind of attacks they like to block. You know, like highs, lows. Do they want to sidestep everything? Figure out what kind of defense they want to run. Once you figure out what kind of defense they're going to run, then you can easily determine what attacks you need to feint. If your first is a windfall and they're just sidestepping, they're not really trying, well, every thrust or vertical attack in your deck you should probably feint. This way your next attack will catch them because they won't have iframes to avoid you or be able to recover. If you're versing Forsaken, their recovery time is pretty bad on Forsaken, so if you feint an attack, normally you can get a medium to high damage attack off in return if they fall for the feint. Stagger style is a bit different. Feinting against them kinda doesn't work unless you're feinting into an avoid or hyper armor, some kind of utility attack. This is because their special defense is an attack itself, so basically they're not defending, they're counter-attacking. With them, it's more easier to feint, stop, react to their attack. That's the best way that I have found to fight someone who uses stagger style at a high level. Actually being good with it. There's not many of them out there, so congrats to those players. With Colt, the recovery time on Colt is extremely broken, and you basically have to feint an attack into a fast attack in order to beat them with feints. They recover fast enough that when you throw any other attack after feinting, that they actually can absorb the attack that you feinted, and then it still absorb the attack that you're feinting into. To me, that's kind of broken. I think if I feint an attack and you try to absorb it, I should get my next attack for free, even if it has to be a fast attack. At least a medium damage attack, like every other style in the game. But it's not. It's simply not. They simply can just absorb multiple times within an attack frame, which is ridiculous. No style should have recovery like that. You should be able to get more than 40 points of damage for a successful feint, I feel like. I simply think the only way to fix that is to up their recovery time on a whiffed absorb, but that's a topic for a different video. Basically, feinting should be used to break down your opponent's defense. Once you figure out if they like highs, lows, thrusts, verticals, whatever it is that they like, fast, slow, you start taking those out by feinting. And they react to them still, and you get your next hit for basically for free. It does depend though, you can't land, obviously you can't land really slow attacks from feinting. Like there's no way to feint into a 360 tornado kick and get that damage for free. That's not how it works. Against Forsaken, if you do it right and you get them in the right mix-up, in the right loop, you can land, like a side kick for punishment. Windfall, maybe a little less, something around 100 points, maybe 80 points of damage, because you do need some speed in order to be successful with feinting. You can't feint into slow attacks. It's just simply too long of a process. Your opponent will be able to block or parry or whatever have you. So basically, figure out what they wanna react to, and then feint it. Throw out your next thing and hit them. If your opponent decides to react to all of your attacks, no matter if it's high, low, fast, or slow, the best thing to do is figure out their defensive pattern. just like how the guy you're watching me fight has a defensive pattern, he wants to parry every other attack. Every single attack I throw out, he wants to parry. So the way you beat that pattern is feinting every other attack. You get one counter attack, you throw your next thing, you know he's going to try and parry it, feint, throw your next thing, hit him, throw your next thing, feint, throw your next thing, hit him. And you do that over and over and over again. And one thing to keep in mind when you're feinting is the type of attacks that you're feinting. And by type of attacks that you're feinting, I mean, is it a left or a right, a high or a low, vertical or thrust? This matters because I've seen this happen plenty of times where, let's say against a windfall player, you throw a high sweep and you feint it into another high sweep. Well, there's a chance that if the opponent avoided the first high sweep by ducking, the second high sweep may also just simply miss. I'm not sure if this is a tracking problem or what, but there is a chance that your second attack may be avoided without your opponent having to do anything. This is especially bad with thrust into thrusts or vertical into verticals, because they are the easiest to dodge for windfall, especially left or right. That's all you got to do. With Forsaken, however, you want to try and avoid right into right and left into left, and it's not that that's a bad thing. That's perfectly fine to have right into right, left into left, or high into high and then low into low. That's not the thing that's bad. What could be bad is the timing. If you feint a slower attack into a fast attack against someone playing Forsaken, there's a chance that when you feint the slow attack, your opponent will react to it. If it's the same side as the fast attack you're about to throw out, there's a chance that that fast attack may get parried on accident, simply for the fact that the opponent still is in his parry animation and is still getting frames for attempting to parry. So you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to the mix-up in your deck and make sure that it gives you a variety of different types of strikes, from left, right, high, low, thrust, vertical. And the last thing you'd have to understand for feinting is adaptability. Adapting when you feint. If your opponent, unfortunately, this opponent did not adapt very well. He did adapt for a moment, but he quickly reverted because he, I guess, could not handle the heat. I don't know. If your opponent adapts from their current pattern and starts to block more and waits for a feint and then decides to, use their special defense against you on the move that you really threw, at that point it becomes a match of adaptability. Can you adapt your offense to beat their defense quicker than they can adapt their defense to beat your offense? And that's all that's all it comes down to at the end game. Who can adapt the most, the fastest, and the most accurate. And lastly, I'm not sure if he'll ever see this, but GG Bounty Hunter 987. I have to say, your defense is really, really strong. You just need to not try and parry every single thing. Block for a second. Make sure that your opponent isn't trying to do any funny stuff. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have learned a lesson. Sorry for all the salty emotes in the video, but he should have took his bow in the beginning, and maybe I would have played a little nicer. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think below, and enjoy the rest of the fight.